Then under student safety and FDE transfer criteria, being a victim of bullying is added to the list of reasons why a student may be transferred to another campus. And under FFAC, our policy for medical treatment, there is a requirement added that parent notice be given after a student has been administered an unassigned respiratory distress medication. It is our practice to notify parents in those events regardless, but this just adds it to the policy. Any questions?
First reading.
Oh, yes, sorry, this is a first reading. We'll bring this back to you in December for a vote.
Anyone have any questions for Ms. Hobbs? Okay, I think we're good. Thank you. Appreciate it. We'll move to item B, which is possible casting of votes for the Denton County Appraisal District Board of Directors.
Madam President,
Dr. Roush.
I want to approve the resolution to cast 152 votes for the Denton Central Appraisal District Board of Directors as follows. Mike Hennifer, 76 votes, and Pomacal, 76 votes. And if I mispronounced your name, I'm sorry.
Second.
I have a motion by Dr. Roush and a second by Mrs. Cobb to approve the resolution to cast 152 votes for the Denton County Appraisal District Board of Directors as follows. 76 votes for Mike Hennifer, 76 votes for Ann Palmacall. Any questions or discussion? All in favor? 7-0, thank you. We will move to item C, which is possible casting of votes for the Wise County Appraisal District Board of Directors.
Madam President,
Mr. Sproles.
I move to approve the resolution to cast 649 votes for the Wise County Appraisal District Board of Directors as follows. 649 votes for Karen Schluter.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Sproles and a second by Mrs. Hatfield to approve the resolution to cast 649 votes for the Wise County Appraisal District Board of Directors as follows. 649 votes for Karen Schluter. Any questions or discussion? All in favor? It'll be 6-0. Abstain. Okay, thank you. One abstain. Okay, thank you very much, Board. That concludes our discussion action agenda for this evening. We will move to 10, which is reports. The first report tonight is the staffing vacancy update. Hi.
All right. Good evening, Dr. Faust, President Murphy, and members of the board. I look forward to giving you an update tonight of where we are in our current staffing here at this point of the school year. If you'll, as a recap, everything that our department does is housed under Strategic Goal 2 to recruit, value, and retain our highly effective staff. I do want to point out, any point in time that I create a list of vacancies or a report, it almost immediately becomes inaccurate, because we may have hired someone, gotten a resignation, or any number of things that can happen. So one phrase that we like to use in our office is that staffing is fluid. And you'll see tonight that it truly can be. So currently at our elementary and secondary levels, these are the vacancies that we have right now. At elementary, we've got 3 classroom teachers, 6 special education resource teachers, 2 special education self-contained teachers. At secondary, we're looking at 4 classroom teachers and 2 special education resource teachers. I will say at the secondary level, I can go ahead and tell you that we have hired for 2 of those positions since I last created this PowerPoint for you this week. Some of you remember a time when we were in, where we really never had any vacancies. We didn't have a lot of contracts, abandonments. That's all changed very differently now. The landscape of teaching is different. And so it's reflected a lot in how we do hire almost year-round now. At the, let's see here, paraprofessional vacancies at the elementary level, we've got 6 special education paraprofessionals out of the self-contained units, 1 campus assistant paraprofessional. And at the secondary level, 4 special education resource paraprofessionals, 4 self-contained, 1 office manager, an ISS paraprofessional, and 1 educational assistant. In that situation, a couple of these have also been hired as well. We've hired 4 since I've made this PowerPoint, so we're making some headway. And honestly, one of those 2, that office manager, while it is a vacancy, is actually the individual who will be traveling with Ms. Leckenhouse to go open Barksdale. So we have that open and posted, but she is still in her position on the campus until the end of this semester. Now, we also have vacancies that support our students in other areas, one of them being in the special education department. We have 6 behavior interventionists, 2 school psychologists, 4 speech pathologists, and a special education assessment clerk. But those are unique. And in some of these cases, these aren't vacancies we've had open all year. They may have come open when we've added positions. For example, our 6 behavior interventionists, we just added those 6 positions in October. So we're looking to get those filled. With our school psychologists and our speech language pathologists, we have some options when we're looking to fill those positions. The school psychologist also has an intern position that we can hire them without their full certification. They're being supervised by another school psychologist. The same with our speech language pathologists. They can be hired as a SLPA, an assistant, or an I, an intern, based on their credentialing and the amount of schooling that they have had. So we do have some flexibility here. And then, of course, our drivers and monitors that we have, we like to have more than we need for the event that we have a little more turnover in that area, but as well as making sure that our routes are all covered. Our transportation department has done an outstanding job of creating pipelines of drivers through our driver trainee program. And we currently have 8 driver trainees. And a lot of times while they're working in the trainee program, they are also working as a monitor on the buses as well, getting that experience. I know several questions you're probably going to ask about these, especially the campus-specific vacancies that we do have. How are we getting those covered? What does that look like on a daily basis? So we have several of those will have certified guest educators in them. Several of the special education ones may have special education staff that rotate through those classrooms and help provide some support. In some places, we have a long-term guest educator in there that is working with an educator prep program to get their statement of eligibility. So each vacancy looks a little different on the campus as we provide for our students, but there are a variety of ways that we're making sure that we have someone in there of quality to take care of our kids. Looking ahead to some of our administrative vacancies, as you're aware, Justin Elementary will be looking for a new leader there. We'll plan to bring a name back to you in December. And of course, this spring, we already know that we'll be looking to find a new leader at Cox Elementary, as Ms. Oakley is going to take on the adventure of opening up Hicks Early Childhood Center. And then, of course, Leanne Romer Elementary comes on board this spring as well. Looking ahead to middle and high school, we'll be looking to find a leader at Medlin Middle School, as well as someone to lead our high school number 4. Okay, this is going to be a new one for us. House Bill 2 truly has been one of the gifts that keeps giving, and there are some certification requirements that are embedded in this bill as well. And one of the requirements is that we as a school district have to create a plan to submit of how we're going to make sure that we have all of our educators certified in the classroom. Now, I will say, as a process, we do not take and employ uncertified teachers for the long term in classrooms. We're not just leaving them in there like some of our neighboring districts may do or you may hear about. We may, at a snapshot of time, have some. So what this is based off of is our PEAM snapshot date. If there's an uncertified teacher in a classroom, that's what's going to be reported. TEA has created a dashboard, and you can look for the 24-25 school year. They reported that we had 11 uncertified teachers in a classroom. Now, there are some unique things that qualify them as uncertified. It may be that someone had a contract abandonment and we hadn't replaced them yet, and they walked off the campus, so someone's got to be in there. It may be that we had a separation. that may have occurred, and we filled that yet. It could be that we gave them a brand-new section because they needed another over-enrollment. It may be that. It's just that snapshot in time that is going to show that we have an uncertified teacher, when the reality is our goal is we've been working to get them certified all year long. It's just that fluid piece of things happen when we have this many employees. Another interesting tidbit that I learned today, TEA does allow us to hire teachers who are certified out of state if that certification is active, and they have gone on to the TEA website and paid for and applied for a credential review. So TEA can take a look at their out-of-state cert and then provide them with a one-year intern cert. That also counts as an uncertified teacher till they get that intern cert on their certificate. So when we have our PIMS information, we'll come through that and make sure that we know exactly what was reported and how that may affect us. But for you to know that we have to create a plan that includes some of these specific details here, the number that we have that are uncertified, is there an educational prep partner that we want to work with on that to help get that certification? It has to be board approved, so I'll be back getting that approval from you in January or February, and then we have to submit to the state and place a link on our website. So while we are striving to always make sure that we have educators that are certified, there are moments in time that, given across all of our classrooms, there may not be one in there in that moment that we have that reporting snapshot to PIMS. So I've shared a lot of information with you. What questions do you have for me?
Ms. Barker, I have a two-part question for you. First is, what is the most difficult position to fill?
Okay.
And while you're thinking about that, the second question is, for guest educator, what is the most difficult position to fill?
Okay. I will say we've seen some things ebb and flow from year to year. For a long time, it was dual language classrooms. Those were difficult to fill. But most recently, a lot of our dual language teachers have kind of self-recruited some colleagues to the district. So I'd say now we're really looking at things that are very simple, like math and science at the secondary level. This year, special education has been very difficult to fill in both SPED classrooms, SPED resource, and the paraprofessional support. That's been difficult. And your second one, as for GEs, I would say we don't necessarily have our guest educators pick up as many paraprofessional vacancies and openings because it pays less. It pays about half.
Anybody else? I have a question about the HB2 certification requirements. So you said you're going to bring that plan to us in January to the board? What does, I'm just curious, preliminary talks, I'm sure you're in them right now and trying to figure out exactly what this says, but are we the only approving body, or is it just a submission to TEA and they don't have to approve it?
It's a submission to TEA, and it says that anything that will be submitted is typically approved.
Yeah,
That's what we're hearing right now. As we have districts around us who do the submissions, I'm sure we'll hear more.
Yeah, I'm just very curious. And do we plan on using one EPP partner or many?
I don't see how we can only use one. I was speaking with a colleague today who is working through this on Grand Prairie, who have many, many more situations than we do. You know, she was very jealous that we just have moments in time where we may have uncertified staff in classrooms where they have larger numbers. So they're partnering with one specifically. I don't know which one she did not share, but for us, it may be those 3 or 4 teachers that are working on their SOE, which is their statement of eligibility to be able to be hired as a teacher. It will be their educational entities that they're working with. So I'm trying to find someone who is similar to us in our situation to kind of do some brainstorming with on it as well.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? I think we're good. Thank
right,
you.
thank
tonight.
you.
Thank you for that. We'll move on to item B, which is facilities, planning, and construction report.
Good evening, Board. Dr. Faust. Tonight, I just want to give you guys the update on the planning construction department all the projects that we're doing, and just give you an overview. Here's everything that the planning department has been working on for quite some time. We're going to show you a few fun pictures with some of these projects, especially Dr. Hicks Early Childhood Center. And then we will come to you in December on elementary 25-26 interior designs and Byron and Eaton furniture finishes. So here's Dr. Romer. The top left was our inspiration. After speaking to the curriculum personnel, they told us they're her favorite colors, things that she, like her personality, how they saw her, and the crows, or ravens, sorry, are the mascot. And so below that, those images, the bottom left, are our interior colors of the school. And then in the middle of this picture, you can see all the furniture color selections for each grade level that we chose for this campus. And then the far right is our mascot image. Dr. Hicks, spring, fall, winter, and so we just wanted to show you those images and the furniture pieces or furniture material that we have chosen for each of those spaces. This is something that presented of everything Tommy and his crew are doing out in the field. And then here's your Gantt chart to just give you a visual of everything that opens at the same time or in different time frames. So we have the annex building next door. We're about 20% built out or finished on this project. They have done most of the framework inside. They're moving along pretty good on this facility. Just give you a few overview pictures because there's a lot of site work going on over there. Prairie View, last month I brought to you that we're still doing the grass and just a few grading stuff, and now we're out of there. It's their building, it's their site, and they're able to utilize it as 100%. In ISD stadium renovations, this is the restrooms over at the baseball and softball field to remind you of the expansion of the bleachers that we did. The code hit us on giving more facilities out there. So we have all of the fixtures in. We're just working on interior design or interior finishes. Barks is left, and then the gymnasium on the right. We've got the cafeteria on the left, and then an interior. It's a courtyard. It's not a complete interior, but it'll be where kids can go from wing to wing safely. We've got an art room on the left, and then just a typical classroom showing you the view out west that they'll be able to see on most of the classrooms. High School 4, just give you some sight and visuals. You can see in the far right, that's the PAC going up. It's almost, CMU is almost complete out there. Steel frame is ongoing. Most first floor slab has been poured. Even though in the picture it doesn't show that, it's the only thing that we have left are the leave outs for the crane that we have to maneuver through the site in order to get the steel up. That gives you the front, the grading in the front is our indoor activity center, the athletic facility, and then the football field is right behind it. And that just gives you an overview of what's going on at the site and where things are. Dr. Hicks, we have, actually this is an old picture, even though it's a new picture, we have the storm shelter, framing is going up and the storm shelter is up on this building. Romer, as you can see, steel is still going up, it's almost completed, and the storm shelter is up, which wasn't there last month. Byron Nelson, the PAC, Byron Nelson framing is complete, interior framing is ongoing, and the roof has started. Stadium foundation completed on the visitor side, and then we have a slab going down on the home side. Eaton, you can see this is the PAC. We have the slab. Last month we had just the grading. The slab's down and steel is going up. And the stadiums. It's all going. We got the permit for it 2 weeks ago, and so we are moving along on the stadium. Any questions? Jen? Yes, ma'am.
Now that Northwest High School's 99% finished. Do we have any portable buildings around the district that are being used now, or did that clear them all out?
Being used, I do not feel that we are using any of them, but we do have some at some building, campuses. We haven't moved just because we think they might need it. Example, for Adams Middle School has one there, and I want to say, it's either, there's another elementary that, maybe Schluter or Sendera, that has, but we're not using them, to our knowledge, that we're not using them.
Any other questions? Mr. Schluter?
Of course. So mine's pretty simple. So one of the first things the contractor does on these sites is to build the parking lot and the driveway just to store their materials. Do we have any type of maintenance bond on the roadway or the parking lot because of the loading?
There's no maintenance bond that we have on that, but they are responsible for any cracks or any damages that happen on the drives or parking lot. But typically, we try not to store things on the drives.